An ordinary day, honestly. I remember I needed to go to Rite Aid to get some toothpaste, or maybe it was mouthwash. Honestly, I can't remember. Maybe it was a summer day. I wasn't in school as much, so I had a lot of free time. Um, so I grabbed my keys, get in my car, got enough gas to hit the Rite Aid down the street. So I hit the Rite Aid down the street, right there on Coldwater, and I believe Whitsett. And I didn't expect this to be an adventurous day at all. But you know what? Adventure comes to those who seek the thrill in life. Anyways, I'm there in my car, get out. I see this homeless man standing right outside, panhandling. Now I'm sure he was gonna ask me something. I guaranteed it to myself he was gonna ask me something. And I see him talk to a different customer from a distance. I see that she's very hesitant to talk to him. And in my mind already, I was already preparing myself to hear what he has to say, to hear him out. Because I'm not really one to shun a homeless person just because of a relativity to past family things. But this day I was also feeling very outspoken. So in my mind, I'm preparing, walking maybe 20 steps before me. I prepared myself to hear what he was going to say, prepared myself to say no. But then as soon as I saw this woman decline giving him, I guess, whatever he needed, I wasn't sure yet, I decided, no, why not? So I get to him, he greets me, he says, hello, hello, hey man, is it okay if you can get me like a couple of sodas inside? I'm not even asking for any money. I'm just thirsty. I'm gonna want to gather some sodas for me and my buddies. And I was like, shoot, sodas? In my mind, this was me thinking in my mind, sodas? Why sodas? Like that's so unhealthy. Why would you want sugar? Something sugary? Why not some waters? Or something different, you know what I mean? And I don't know why I thought that. I just did. So I asked him, why sodas? I'm gonna be throwing a party like with me and my friends. We live under the Coldwater Canyon Bridge, and I was like, wow, in my mind. Obviously he was homeless. His clothes were dirty. He had a beard, wasn't clean shaved, had bad health, what is it, hygiene, had bad teeth hygiene. And I was just like, you know what? I don't know what compelled me to tell them yes. And you know what? Actually, I do know what compelled me to tell me yes. It was the fact that he had a basket filled with stuff, and I wasn't being selfish. It was just he added on that extra interest. He's like, if you buy me some sodas, I'll give you whatever's in this basket. And I was like, okay. So in his basket, he had a work light, some other knickknacks, I think a speaker and stuff. And I said, oh, the work light. I'm a cinematographer, so you know at that point I was like, you know what, a work light can do me some good if I practice with it, or I could just sell it. And then I saw his bike, and I have a very very odd superstition when it comes to bikes. So I asked him, where'd you get that bike? And the superstition comes from me getting my bike stolen. That's a different story. But he was like, oh no, you can't have my bike, but I got another bike that you can have. So then I was like, all right, fine. I'll give it to you after we get what I need from Rite Aid. So we haven't even walked in the store yet, and I agreed with them, made a deal right then and there. We walked into the Rite Aid. All the workers are looking at me. What is this? I'm pretty sure they're all thinking, what is this guy doing with this guy? Like, that's odd. He's probably buying him stuff. We're just walking around. We're not really saying much. I'm just asking him, oh, what you want? He got a soda, and then I told him it'd be a good idea to get 2 gallons of water just so you can have some water, keep hydrated. It's hot outside. And we get to the aisles. All of the coworkers, oh, not the coworkers, and not my coworkers, all of the workers in the Rite Aid are looking around. making sure we're not stealing anything. I'm sure he felt just a bit paranoid because I'm sure there's a stigma where he's probably been there before and he's probably stolen stuff. And I was just walking around with him, and the security was following us. The workers were looking at us. We get the waters, we get the sodas. I pay. He's thanking me. He's saying, "Thank you so much, bro. Saying thank you very much. You don't know what this means to me. Thank you." And he then goes, "Now I can get you the bike I said I could get you, but we're gonna need to go somewhere." So then I was like, dang, I knew there was a catch, but that was already too far in, and I wanted the bike. So, you know, here I am. I'm helping this guy. He says, I have a couple of stuff with me. He had a big old black bag. Put it in my car. At that time, I was driving a Toyota Camry. We threw it in the back seat. Took his bike apart and put it in the back seat in pieces. And he tells me, "Yeah, I got a buddy. He lives down the street a couple blocks, and he's got a bike there for you." And in my head, I was like, I hope this isn't sketchy. I hope he's not gonna steal this bike. So I was like, okay, fine. Like I'll take you. Just hop in. So he hops into my car. You know, there in the middle of the day, there's a homeless man I've never met before in my car. In my mind, I'm thinking this could go wrong so many ways. Like, oh my God. Like, I was a little freaked out, but at the same time, I felt like it was a good thing I was doing. So we drive up the road, we park. He says, "Wait here, I'm gonna go grab it." So he goes, he sneaks, he doesn't sneak in, he just goes through this side gate where this person was living, I guess, and he gets a bike. Lo and behold, there it was. It was a silver red Mongoose. I'll never forget it. It was a mountain bike, mountain road bike. And it was just what I was looking for as well. I love those styles of bikes. And it comes in pieces. He says, "All you need to do is put it together." And that was good enough for me. I know how to put a bike together. So, puts it in my back seat. Then he goes on to say, "Oh, could you, one more thing. And I don't know if you want to, but, I'm kind of hungry too. Could you maybe like stop by a Pizza Hut and buy us a pizza?" And I was like, dang, now he's gonna want more and more and more. So then I was like, you know what? This will be for a good cause. Why not? My patience wasn't that bad. I was, still happy to help him out. It's not that much to me. $20 plus $5 for the waters and drink. That ain't nothing. So, we go to the Pizza Hut. He goes inside, and before he walks out of the car, I gave him the cash, $20. He hops out, and he's like, before we start driving, again, I'm gonna need to throw this away. He reaches into his pocket, he pulls it out, and I'm like waiting there, looking at him all like, what is this? And he shows me, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to throw this away. And it was a heroin needle, a spoon, and the actual drug itself. And I was like, dude, why did you get in my car with that? I was a little upset, and I showed him respect. I was still being respectful. And he says, I know, I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry, but I'm going to throw it out right now. I was like, all right, throw it out right now, and I'll buy you the pizza. But if you don't throw it out, I'm not going to buy you anything. Like, I'm not going to get you this pizza. So then he dumps it. I see him dump it, and I ask him, do you have anything else? And maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But I was surprised he even showed me and told me that he had something, and he had the respect to tell me he hadn't. He felt bad for doing that. And I'm not too used to these types of things happening, but I am not unfamiliar with the situation. So, he goes inside. I'm waiting patiently in my car, and I'm just like, should I just leave him here? I'm over here contemplating leaving him. I'm contemplating if I even should be here, and I'm like, I don't even know what's in this bag he's got. I don't know this guy, and I'm just like, you know what? I think I'll be okay. So then, he comes out with the pizza. It was a large little pepperoni pizza, and he's just being thankful. He said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. You, there's not many people like you left. God bless you, God bless you." And it reminds me of my uncle, and I'm just thinking, that's okay. Like it's not much for me. Like it's not much. I'm just trying to help, and if I can help a couple people, that means a lot to me. So, we get the pizza, we have the drinks. He gave me my bike. He dumped his drugs, and he asked for one more stop, and it was kind of, to me, it was kind of unnecessary, but I think he was just trying to maybe milk it just a bit more. But he had his own money at this point because he still had some change, so maybe he wanted to buy himself a different type of soda, like a smaller version. So we stopped by a liquor store, and you know, I was kind of facing the bike because it was positioned wrong in my back seat. We're parked, and there's a big old black bag, huge. I'm a little skeptical, but I had to move it, and I get out my car, go around, fix it up, and I noticed as I was moving it, something pricked me. Like it wasn't like a deep prick. It was just like a quick little scrape. I wouldn't even say prick. It was like a scrape, honestly. And I panicked. In my mind, I didn't want to go crazy. I was just like, what was that? Like, what was that? In my head, I was so scared. The fear kicked in. I never felt so much fear in my life. I was scared. What if it was a heroin needle? What if it was something else? Maybe did I just get infected with a disease? So then he comes out, and I didn't ask him actually. I waited. I just thought it was nothing, but I did have that little fear, just a little anxiety. I just thought it was nothing though, because it was heavy, and it sounded like there was tools in there. He told me there was tools. Then I drop him off. He gives me his number, which was kind of surprising. He had a phone. Maybe it was like one of those Obama phones. So actually, it was. So then we were not far from his camp with like the homeless community. I drop him off. I see all of the homeless people, and it confirmed that I helped them out. So that I felt good about what I did. All of them were sharing the pizza. They had the drinks, the water. It was like feeding a community, and I was like, oh my god, that was cool. That was pretty cool. So then, I had his number, and then as soon as I got home, I texted him, hey man, I forgot his name honestly, but I was like, hey man, something pricked me in that black bag I moved, and I'm a little worried. Do you mind like telling me what was in that bag? And he was like, oh no, don't worry, bro, don't worry. Like he sent me pictures of him having all the stuff on the floor and unraveled. It was just tools that he was using to, I guess, I don't know. In my experience and from what I know, what homeless people do with tools and power tools, it could have been stealing for all I know, but that was none of my business. So, I'm over here telling my mom, that's a nurse, Mom, I was a little scared to tell her because of the whole situation that I did. Like no one in their right mind would do what I just did, right? So I was a little hesitant to tell her. And once I did, she was just like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? Why would you even do that? And I was like, honestly, it just felt like God was telling me to help. And in a sense, that's what it was really about for me. It wasn't about, uh, you know, my ego. It wasn't about me trying to prove something. It was just mostly trying to help out the smaller man, not the smaller man, but you know, the man I've known in the past, in a way, a figure. So he texted me, nah, don't worry about it. It was nothing. I promise. There was nothing, no needles in there, nothing that can harm you, just tools. And I was like, oh, thank God. Then lastly, he just thanks me again, and he gave me a blessing. He was like, thank you. There's not many people like you. We all appreciated what you did for us, and you know, go about your day. And shoot, I was scared I had AIDS. I was scared I had AIDS. Thank God. Thank God. Oh my God. That was like a big old weight lifted off my shoulders. And I'll just never forget that day. And I don't tell it very much because it just feels like I'm trying to tell people I helped the homeless people. But that whole story was an adventure. But yeah, that's one of my stories of helping somebody out with a risk for a good cause.